Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Robin Heights and Cafe Dogs, I warmly welcome you to an evening with Malam Garba Shehu. It's not just going to be about book reading, it's going to be a conversation about leadership, communication, power, and public service. Malam Garba Shehu served as Senior Special Assistant to the former President Muhammadu Buhari, where he played a key role in shaping public understanding of governance at the highest level. His book, according to the president, offers a rare insight into the responsibilities, the pressure, the ethics of speaking for the highest office of the land. Malam Garba Shehu, you are welcome to
Thank you so much.
gathering.
Thank you.
To begin with, you are often referred to as the special one, but not Jose Mourinho, the self-acclaimed special one. Your own it was a title given to you by the late Emir of Kano, Halaji Ado Bayero. Can you please share with us how that inspired you to become that special one you are now?
Well, thank you for inviting me. And if let me just begin by saying thank you to all of you for also joining me on this journey. I really appreciate that you made out the time to be here with us. And to say also that I had always assumed that events such as this, the book reading events, are for award-winning, authors or best-selling series, not people who are just venturing into, book writing in the way we did accidentally.
Yeah.
So I appreciate this, and I hope that it will be worthwhile, even with for all of us. I had, yes, Ado Bayero said words to that effect when he moved, and it's there in the book, when he walked over to me in the class. I was in class 1 in primary school. And he took over from the teacher and asked a very tricky question. And I don't know where the answer came from. But I rose my hand and I gave him, and he felt so good about my response. Then he walked out to me as I seated there, and his hand on my head like this, and said, "Well, you are different. You probably would be somebody one day." So I remember it because for us, the emir was perhaps the most important authority symbol in our lives. State governor, whatever governor, too far away from you. And it was a huge inspiration for me because in that community in which I was raised, people were mostly poor. And, school itself was not generally accepted. Most of those who were in class 1 would probably be out of school by the time you get to the final class in primary school. Girls married off as early as maybe 10, 11 or 12 years. And the young men maybe choosing to do small jobs or join people, uncles and their parents in the market, buying and selling, bringing immediate rewards instead of waiting for the long journey through school and all of that. So it was a huge opportunity, yes, and I agree with you. It was an inspiration for me, and I had always thought that I should not disappoint the emir.
Thank you. It's nice that you are now a special one.
Well, I don't know whether I'm there. But
okay, Malam Garba, what inspired you to write according to the president, and why did you choose this time to write this book?
There are many things, but importantly, maybe 2 or 3 things that I would mention. One is that this inspiration we just talked about now. As I said in the book, I'm a driver's son. I didn't write, I was not raised with a silver spoon in my mouth. But here was I, you know, given education, because education is the greatest equalizer, the greatest social equalizer there can ever be. And here was I, you know, sitting on the dinner table with the president of Nigeria, flying in his jet and meeting, you know, White House, you know, number 10 Downing and all of that. So I think the thing is that can we also inspire people, especially people of our type of background, who are not socially privileged, endowed, that they can aspire to get to where a white is, because that's the highest it can get. Aso Rock presidential villa, and we're there for 8 years. That's one. And two, then I also had been interested in instruction, in teaching. I had donated my time when I was editor of Triumph newspaper and general manager and the MD. I had given back to the university, Bayero University. I had taken courses, undergraduate and graduate courses in journalism and communication without pay. I like to give back. So this book was intended as, hopefully, as a learning document, as an instructional material for students and people who aspire to occupy the kind of offices that we occupied. And thirdly, then, to also document the enormous achievements of Muhammadu Buhari in his office. And by the way, then we had the story of the former Vice President of Nigeria, because I was with him in the State House much earlier, before I was expelled from the villa 6 months into my tenure. And so I thought that I had seen contrasting experiences. When I served Atiku in the villa, we were fighting day and night for the survival of our boss, against whom, you know, his own government, of which he was vice president, had wanted to destroy him as a politician, destroy his family, destroy his businesses. So we were fighting others. With Buhari, when I came to serve, it was, as I said, contrasting, because we were the ones who were being fought. And therefore, you people are going through this now, because they heard that we has the crowns. That's the one they chase. And then they continue to hit you. But the crown, when it moves from your head to the next head, and this is what a philosopher said more than 1,000 years ago. It is the crown that they follow. You move it from their head and put it on another one's head. They will leave you, and then they will chase that other person. So this is how, and we thought maybe it would be beneficial for, as I said, people who will come after us and learn from our mistakes, and maybe successes that we also had choked.
So who are your primary audience, and what do you hope maybe the readers, like public servant, the lesson they will derive from the book?
Well, the book is a potpourri of so many things. As you can see, there's a bit of my background, which ideally should be in a biographical stuff. There are things that we did as journalists in the newsroom, how I led newsroom, and how we made mistakes, and how we saw things, how we saw the power of journalism, and how we used it, and offering advice to people as to how they can use this enormous power for good or for ill. So there is a substance for it for journalists, for public relations practitioners into all these offices that we held as public relations persons. But even for politicians, I would like, and I'm told that the Vice President Kashim Shettima is a voracious reader. And I've given him this book. And I believe he will have read it, because even for a politician as highly placed as Nigerian Vice President today, There are things that he can take away from this book because somebody was there before him. Atiku, for instance, and you saw how it went between him and Obasanjo, and we tried to. So lessons for everyone, even as members of society. How do you relate to people? How do you link up with others? Because some of the trouble I got into personally, I probably could not have gotten out were it not for the fact that I had encountered people in the past, and I came to meet them when I was in trouble. And without my knowing that I had dispensed favors upon them in the past. And they came and said no. So the judge who said no, Garba, I will not be the one to jail Garba. I was told by lawyers when all of these things were over, Garba, no, I will not jail him. So it depends on how we relate with other people. Do we antagonize? So there is so much for people that they can take away.